Roz Rogers. I've been a realtor for a couple of years, and I've been with my home group for about a year.
Awesome. So let me tell you a little bit about my background. I got into the industry in 2010 as a recruiter for HomeSmart. So I worked there for 3 years, helping them hire agents to join HomeSmart, which was great. That was during their explosion phase when they were taking over everywhere. I hired about 600 agents to join HomeSmart and met with, obviously more than that, thousands of agents, and talked to them about their business, their struggles, their challenges, and learned a lot about what you guys deal with and how, it's tough to be successful in this business if you're not focused. When I moved to the title side for Lawyers Title, I focused all my energy on kind of the coaching side of the business, helping agents with lead gen and marketing and ways to kind of set themselves apart from other agents. And then I do the same thing basically for doing business development for VIP Mortgage now. And Michael Marlowe and I have worked very closely together over the past year and a half creating UX. So it was his brainchild. Michael Marlowe is the director of agent development here at my home group, and for about 3 years he's been saying we need to have a more structured training and coaching program because we have great education available to agents here at my home group every week through Workshop Wednesday, but there isn't anything that is like boot camp to get an agent going quicker. And that's one of the biggest challenges that agents face is sometimes either when they're just getting going, they don't know where to go or what to do, or if you've been in the business a while and you get stagnant, it can be hard to reset your business. So that's really where UX came from. So basically, Michael meets with agents all day, every day, talks to them about their business and how to grow, and he does a lot of business coaching here at my home group. He teaches a business development class every other Wednesday. And what we have found, these are some of the things that we found, is agents generally don't think like a business owner. A lot of agents think that, they're just going to work kind of when they need and make a flexible schedule and when they, hustle hard when they need to and take a vacation. But what we have found is that unless you think like a business owner, you're probably not going to have a profitable, successful business. So you really have to operate it business minded, and that's one thing that our course teaches. So we'll get into that in a minute. Another thing we hear from hundreds of agents is the peaks and valleys in the business, right? You have a month where you're doing awesome and you have 3 closings and you're really just totally focused on getting those deals done that you're not prospecting. So then guess what happens the next few months is then you have no closings for the next few months. And then you start hustling, then you get some deals in escrow, you close those out. But there's really these peaks and valleys in business for most agents, and it can be stressful, especially if you have a family to support. You're not exactly sure when your next paycheck's coming in. So what this is designed to do is help kind of make the peaks and valleys smaller. They're always going to be there because that's the nature of a commission-only job. But if they're like this, it's easier to navigate than if they're like this. So that's really the goal of this course, is to get you where you're on a consistent business plan to not have those peaks and valleys. Another problem we saw is that a lot of agents really have a lack of availability to training. There's a lot of classes and CE classes, but most of them are not practical application in your business. They're kind of concepts and ideas and marketing strategies, but they're not really things that are going to take you to do the activities that you need to do to be productive. So that was one challenge we saw. Another challenge is unavailable brokers. That's not a problem here at my home group. They're very readily available, but at a lot of other brokerages, it can be difficult to get help from your broker. So that can be a challenge too. Another thing we find is the squirrel mentality that a lot of agents have is, they get going on one thing over here and that doesn't work, so they give up. And then they get going on another thing over here and it doesn't work, so they give up. And then they chase this tree to find some nuts, and maybe that works for a bit, so they keep eating the nuts, but then they stop that and go to the next tree and find some nuts. And it's hard to be productive if you don't stick with the activities. A lot of activities are long-term lead gen activities that you kind of have to stay with to see the results, and that squirrel mentality can get you off track. So the course is designed to help eliminate that. And another challenge we see is that there's a lot of one-size-fits-all coaching programs out there. And what that means is that they tell you that to do this many cold calls and this many this and this many break breads and you're going to get business. And while that's true, you probably will if you do all those activities, it doesn't work for everybody. Most agents don't like to do the same type of things. And so we have tried to design a program that is, we teach you about all the different types of lead gen activities, but we help you find the ones that work best for you based upon your individual strengths. So in kind of doing this course, Michael and I put the course content together for about a year and a half. And in doing all this research, we have found these things. 95% of the results in real estate are produced by 5% of agents, which was shocking to me. But if you look in Phoenix Metro, that's really true. I mean, there's like 47,000 licensed agents, and the average agent does 2 or 3 closings a year. And there's a lot of people that do it part-time and sell their neighbor's house or their own house or whatever, but there aren't that many that really take their business super seriously. And all the ones at the top do. And we kind of have talked to all them. We interviewed all the top agents here on what they're doing in their business that's worked, and there was a lot of common themes that we'll get to. But what we found is less than 5% of agents currently have a formalized business plan. And that goes back to that business owner, business-minded mentality. Most agents really kind of just start the year with like, yeah, I'm going to have a good year. I want to sell 20 houses, right? You just kind of pick an arbitrary number and go. But you don't have a plan of, if you're going to sell 20 houses, how many list sides, how many buy sides, and then to get that many list sides or buy sides, what activities do you have to do to get there on a monthly and weekly basis? So you have to really dial it down. And not just that, but, 20 houses, but you have to break it down from, hello, welcome, from, a commission standpoint, an income standpoint, a tax standpoint. You really have to look at it as all of those things if you really want to be successful. And all of the top people in that 5% do that. And what we found, when we asked agents, why don't you have a business plan? Why haven't you sat down to do it? These were the reasons we got. They really didn't think it was important. They don't have access to a program to help put it together. They aren't really held accountable by anybody. And that's common, It's like a lot of agents get into this business to be their own boss and not have to be held accountable. But what we find is that if you don't have somebody holding you accountable, even if it's your wife or your husband or your kids or another agent who you kind of team up with to help each other, if you don't have somebody holding you accountable, it's very easy to say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do those calls another day, So that's can be a problem why those peaks and valleys exist. Another thing is that a lot of agents just aren't necessarily self-starters. They're people that aren't really going to, some, and you guys are here, so that probably means you are self-starters, but the majority of agents that are just closing those 3, 5, 6 deals a year, they're comfortable with that. They're not self-motivated, driven people. So that's kind of what we saw. And this is another thing that we hear from agents all the time in their business. Well, I got to get my website fixed and then I'm going to start marketing. Or, oh, I'm just waiting on my new cards and then I'll do it. Or, oh, I need my sign. Or, oh, I'm going to get some Zillow leads or whatever. So we hear this stuff from agents all the time, making excuses on why they're not doing the activities in their business to generate business. And it's all of those things. And so I put this up here because I think this is really important. If you wait for until things are perfect to take action, you're going to wait for your whole life. And you're going to have the same low income that you want to increase until you make a change in your business. So that's really what UX is designed to do. So I love this because things are never going to be perfect. This business is always changing and evolving. But if you're doing the activities to generate business and generate leads, the results will come. So that's what we teach you, is you have to stay focused on the end goals. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Any questions before I keep rambling so far? There's a lot more coming. No? Okay, so, oh yeah.
So that 95%, is that volume or is that earnings? I mean, how does the industry usually get that number?
So, are you talking about this stat right here? So that's a nationwide stat. I think it was through NAR, to be honest, and it is based upon like GCI. Because what they found is there now, especially with the way the market's changed, is a lot of agents are discounting commissions or doing flat fee listings and things like that. So, whereas although a lot of the top teams have had to, accommodate or maybe flex with their business, the majority of them aren't drastically reducing commission, so they still have generally a higher GCI, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's a volume stat. Okay, so what is UX? Well, first of all, it stands for unique experience. And that was kind of the idea that Michael and I had in crafting this program was, how can we teach agents to provide a unique experience to their clients to stand out from the other 46,000 licensed agents in town? And basically, these are kind of the things that we go over. So how to set yourself apart as an agent to win more clients and keep the clients you have happier. How to get productive faster. So whether you are a new agent who needs to get going or an agent who maybe needs a little kick in the pants to get going in your business or jumpstart or refresh,
Why do you look at me?
Everyone needs a little kick in the pants from time to time in their business.
True.
We also really discuss which business activities yield the best results, because I have another picture in a different slide presentation, but basically we all know that busyness does not equal productivity, right? So there's so many agents that are like, oh, I'm so busy, I am so busy today, but did you actually do anything that was productive for your business? So you can be busy going to classes and going to lunches and doing Facebook and, you know, whatever, but did any of that generate productive results in your business? So we teach you a lot of ways to look at not just return on your investment that you're putting in your business with cost, but also your return on your time. So if something isn't actually generating you results in your business, we're going to tell you to cut it out. So, you know, maybe go to less classes if you're at a point when you need to really make some money. Maybe, you know, don't go out to lunch with as many lender reps and title reps or coffee meetings or whatever, you know. Start saying no to things so that you can make the changes you need in your business. We also really discuss what works best for your individual strengths. So although we do touch on all the different pillars of business, we know that not every agent's the same. You know, Roz isn't going to do the same lead gen activities as one of you guys. So everyone has things that they're great at in this business and probably things that they are not great at. And generally the things that you're not great at, you're going to put off and put off and put off. And those are the things you're going to say, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. So, which then in turn creates this like negative thing in your head because you feel like you're more and more behind all the time, right? So we tell you, if you're not going to do it, don't even say you're going to do it. Don't do it. We'll figure out something else that you are going to be excited to do to get you business quicker. So that's kind of the idea. And for each person, we want you to have 3 pillars of business, one of which is non-negotiable as database or sphere. Every single person we talk about, you have to cultivate that. And then we're going to help you figure out 2 other pillars of business for yourself to get ways that you are actively trying to get business as a real estate agent. And then we also always, through the whole thing, talk about the importance of personal touch. And we really feel that as this business has gotten more automated, you know, everything's online now, consumers can find most anything they want on the internet. It is more important than ever to be even more personal with your clients. The more you can do the personal touch stuff, the better. And the agents that are really winning right now are ones who are doing all that stuff. So we talk about different things that you can do. The importance of a personal phone call. Most people don't do them anymore. Not a sales call, not asking for something, but a hey, how are you doing call. I haven't heard from you in a while. What's up? How's your house? Or how's your wife? Or how's your kid? Or whatever. So those little things go such a long way in this business. We talk also about in-person pop-bys. That's even less prevalent in right now. It's people send a gift, right? Or mail something through Amazon or whatever. But actually dropping by someone's house with something goes about the longest way of any other gesture you can do. So that's a huge one. Video touch points, we talk a lot about ways to kind of check in with your clients via video so that they can see you. We learned that the human brain cannot distinguish between like a movie screen celebrity and a video person. So in your mind, if they're seeing you on video a lot, you become like a celebrity in their head. So it actually changes. They've done all this research on it, but that's the whole reality TV craze, right? They took all these people who were nobodies and put them on TV and they became somebodies, so celebrities, right? And it's because people feel like they can connect with you better when they can see you. It's just like you're there in person almost talking to them. So we talk a lot about video, and we talk a lot about also like the importance of having a team of professionals in your business. So we're not selling you on any particular companies, services, anything like that. There's 0 sales pitches whatsoever in this training program. But we do talk about if you don't have partners that are helping your business grow, try to find new partners. Because there are great people out there who will be invested in helping you, whether that's helping you find farm lists or helping you with open houses or whatever it is. We'll give you different ways you can leverage your partners to help you grow. Themes that are kind of prevalent throughout the whole program. We talk a lot about mental mindset. We talk a lot about professionalism, obviously. We think that in this industry, again, in order to get into that top and stay there, you have to be uber professional. And we even talk about down to like what you should wear to appointments and things like that. And I know it sounds silly, but it does make a difference. It's a way to set yourself apart. We also talk about staying focused, that every week we kind of recommit to our goals that we've set at the beginning of the program, because If you're not staying focused, it's easy to really get distracted and start drifting and not doing your business activities. But if you can find a way to get recommitted and refocused on a weekly basis, it'll really help you all year long. We want the course, we've designed it to be very collaborative. So when agents that join, we need you to be able to talk in front of other agents, share things that have worked for you, share things that have not worked, talk about experiences you've had, because we feel that we can all learn best from each other. And there may be a great tip from another agent that they can share. So we want everyone to be collaborative. We hope, we really discourage like a competitive environment in the training program, because we want there to be, healthy competition to get your stuff done, but it shouldn't be, it should be collaborative. We want to help each other win together collectively. Also, there's a lot of accountability woven in throughout the program. There's homework every week, and then you have an accountability call once a week as well, basically to make sure that you completed the homework, you understand the tasks. And I've gotten a few questions about the homework, like, really, homework? It's not, it's actually activities that will help you in your business. So we're not going to tell you to do worksheets or it's things we're going to tell you to make 100 calls to your database this week, things like that maybe you don't necessarily want to do, but they are going to generate positive results in your business. And the way that we feel, the idea is we want to help to push you to do uncomfortable tasks in a comfortable setting, right? Because then hopefully you'll get comfortable with them, and then you'll incorporate those into your business. Even if you don't decide to do it as one of your pillars, we still want you to do it, to try it, because hey, you may have been super scared of making calls to your database, but you may find that when you make those calls, you get 3 listing appointments out of it. So we want you to try it to see if it works for you. If it doesn't, okay, but we want you to try it. So all the homework is designed with whatever the course topic is that week. It's designed to go along with it and encourage you to try that, whatever it is. We also talk a lot about vision in this class. We feel that if you just throw out, like I talked about at the beginning, if you just throw out an arbitrary number, like I want to do 20 deals this year, okay, that's great, but there's no why behind it. So it's hard to get there if you don't know how to get there. So when we do your business plan, we break it down again to like weekly and monthly activities and how many transactions per month, how many, all that, how much money, all this stuff, everything. And that really helps you see it. You see the plan, you feel the plan, you're bought into the plan a lot better, and it helps keep you driven throughout it as well. And then we also talk at the beginning about finding your why. And a lot of agents, again, you have to have a reason why you're in this business, and it's not just for the paycheck. So figure out, and if it is for the paycheck, that's fine, but what is the paycheck going to do for you? So figure out what it is inside you that's going to drive you to get up and do those activities every day. So we're going to talk about that as well. And the goal is that kind of our, thing, unique experiences. We want you to do what you do so well that people are going to want to see it again and bring their friends. So the goal is that by providing a unique experience to your clients, they're going to proactively refer you, right? That's what we all want, is a referral-based business. And if you are so good that they're just blown away by their experience, they're going to refer you. Absolutely, 100%. So we really talk about the importance of building and cultivating those referrals, and how to then not forget about them for years to come to continue getting referrals. So we talk about different ways to very professionally and tactfully ask for referrals as well. So it is an 8-week course. The first course starts, or the first session, actually it's the second session because we did one last summer, but the second session starts July 10th. It is every week for 8 weeks. So that's a Tuesday, July 10th for 8 weeks, here at this My Home Group office from 1 to 3:30 every Tuesday. And then you have an accountability call with your partner once a week that'll take about 15 to 30 minutes. We recommend doing those on Thursday or Friday after you've had a few days after the class. But these are the topics. So the first week we start with goal planning, and that's really that whole roadmap for your business. So we're going to talk about how much money do you need to make to live, how much money do you want to make, what are your expenses, what are your taxes, what are your brokerage fees, all that. We take all that out. And then, okay, now that we have this big number of what you actually need to make, how many deals is that? how many buy sides, how many list sides, and then from there, what activities do you need to do to hit that many numbers? Because we all know we don't get every listing that we go on in a listing appointment for, right? So we put those metrics in as well to figure out if your average, list to sell ratio is 70%, we have to account for that when we figure out your business activities. Does that make sense? So that's the first week. We really dive into goal planning, your why, your vision, and building a roadmap for your business and figuring out which activities you're going to do to get you the results that you want. The second week is database and sphere, and we really dive super heavily into this. And as I mentioned, this is something that we make everybody do, regardless of if you want to or not, because we feel like if you are not working your database, you are losing money. You're throwing money out your car window, because those are the easiest people to get business from, because they already know you, like you, and trust you. And a lot of agents feel like, oh, I don't want to bother my friends and family. I just feel awkward. I don't know. I don't really talk about it. But you have to talk about it. So you have to tell them. There's a way to do it tactfully and professionally and respectfully, and we're going to talk about that. But we really talk about how to dive into your database, keep them happy, stay in front of them, how many touches you need to have on an annual basis for best conversion rates, all of that. So that's pretty much the whole second week. Open houses is the third week, and a lot of people are like, a whole class on open houses? I know how to do an open house. But trust me, there's definitely things you could be doing that you're not doing in your open houses to make them more productive. We have metrics for everything that throughout the program, but the metrics, Michael Marlowe, so he obviously is director of agent development here, so he's a recruiter. So he is not an active agent, but he said he did 7 open houses last year, and from those 7 open houses, closed 4 deals. Just
He did what?
from that. Did 7 open houses and closed 4 deals with no other prospecting activities. So if you do them right, they really work. So we're going to tell you different ways to A, market them properly to get people there, B, what to do while you're there to actually close the client. You need to remember you are basically on stage during the open house. It is every single thing you say and do needs to be tactful. And then after the open house, it's not over. What are you going to do after the open house? Lots of follow-up. And how often and what do you say? We're going to talk about all that. So that's really important too. Prospecting is the 4th week. That's basically, there's lots of different ways to prospect. We touch on all of them. And there's, effective and non-effective ways to prospect. So we talk about what's effective, what's generally not effective, what the conversion rates are for each, so you can choose a prospecting method that works for you. The next week is lead generation and lead conversion. So this is where we dive a little bit into the online lead gen, Facebook lead gen, basically, or any sort of lead gen, cold lead gen. So besides your database and all that, any new lead that you get, how to best cultivate it and close it. So we talk about it that week. We also get into lots of other marketing strategies in the prospecting and lead gen weeks. We talk about, Facebook targeted ad campaigns, boosted posts for open houses. We talk about all that stuff. We talk about, farming campaigns, cold call campaigns, using a mass dialer. We talk about all those things. What's most cost effective. The 6th week is buyer consults and listing presentations. And again, most agents are like, well, I've been an agent for a while, I have one, or I know how to do it. But we're going to make it better for you. We're going to really dive into it to make it so that basically you should convert more of your, listing appointments and buyer presentations. And throughout it too, it's providing a different experience for your clients that you probably weren't before to help yield more referrals and provide that amazing, shining experience. 7th week is time blocking and productivity. And this one we really talk about the ways to structure and organize your business to be most efficient. And this is what most agents really do not do. But we feel that, that all those top 5% time block, their calendar's time blocked. They do the same prospecting activities at the same time on the same days. And if you get into that habit, then it's not like, oh, I don't want to make those calls today. It's like you wake up knowing you're going to do the calls, or and then your brain doesn't try to talk you out of it because that's your routine that you always do. So we talk about the importance of that. We give you different productivity tips, ways to kind of re-energize yourself once you get kind of derailed, which happens to all of us in this business. and really just some pro tips of people that they do. We talk to a lot of top producers on things that they do for productivity. And then the last week is post-closing and referrals, and that is all about basically how to win those clients for life. So now that you got them through the deal, how do you stay in front of them forever to continue to build repeat and referral business? And the goal of most agents, right, is that you want to build a long-term repeat and referral business. So you're not constantly having to hunt, but referrals are coming back to you from past clients and friends and family. So we talk a lot about that. So those are the 8 weeks. There are, lots of different things within each week, obviously, but you get a lot, throughout the course too. So every week, actually, I'll go grab it out of my office, the binder, so you guys can see it. Let's bring it in. I'll be right back. My office is right here. Okay, so all the participants get a binder like this, and this is about how much stuff comes in it when you're done with the 8 weeks. So it's a lot of content. We worked really hard to put it together, but basically each week, I'll kind of give you an example. This was, the first time we did UX was last summer. That was kind of our beta testing group of agents. And they all did great and loved it. We had a really long evaluation that they filled out at the end about ways that we can improve it or make it better, but every single one saw an improvement in their business, and we had one that made the leaderboard on the last month of the course, which is amazing. Top 25 in the company is pretty impressive. But in here we obviously have the schedule at the beginning, bios of the coaches, recommended reading, the roster of participants, and then each week you'll get the slides for the week. Whatever deliverables go along with the content, and then the homework. So there'll be a homework sheet on the last page that breaks down what your homework is for the week, and then we have lots and lots of deliverables. So this is what I'm going to talk about now. So each week you'll get obviously the PowerPoint, the slides for the week. We don't give them to you ahead of time, so you can't go ahead. So you'll show up to class, you'll get your slides, you'll take notes as we present through it. So, and then you'll get your homework sheet and any deliverables for the week. So we've typed out tons and tons of deliverables. Every week you'll get one that goes along with the content, things that you can add or implement into your business that maybe we didn't get to talk about as much in the class. But lots and lots of stuff. We also give you a script book. So I guess I should start with the first one. Business plan. So you'll leave with a completed business plan. It basically is about a 10-page workbook that you work through to get to a 1-page guide for yourself and your business. So you'll leave with a 1-page sheet that you can hang up above your desk and look at every day that kind of helps give you a roadmap. You also get a script book, which is like this. So we literally have put together what we feel are the best scripts. There's 26 pages of the best scripts for anything that you could find in the business. There's a table of contents, so it breaks it down. But with those, we know not every script's going to work for everyone, so we put several options in there so you can find one that works for you and your business. You get a buyer presentation and a listing presentation that you can customize for yourself. So it's a template. You have to plug in your own name and email and phone number and all that, but it's very easy. All the graphics are in there. All the info's in there for you to customize. But most agents don't have one. How many people in here have one that they use? 0?
I used to in the very beginning.
Okay, so that's right.
So one.
Yeah, so most agents don't have one. And that's another thing that I'll get to it later, right? And it's so daunting of a task to put together that it's like most agents don't ever start, so they just keep putting it off. So we're going to give one to you that you can customize. Buyer presentation and listing presentation. We also give you our whole open house strategy info that works really well. We give you an open house sign-in sheet and feedback form that you can customize, which we have found is the highest converting. It asks for feedback on the property in a really pretty way. So instead of saying, will you sign in, the seller's requesting feedback on the property. Would you be comfortable or would you be okay filling this out for them? And everyone, we've not had anyone say, no, I won't fill out the feedback form. So that works a lot better. We also give you obviously the binder, the course materials, and the homework that you get to get. And then throughout the whole course, we talk about best practices from top agents. So the team that I work with at VIP Mortgage is the Crawford team. He's a top 1% lender in the country, so which means in the top 500 lenders in the country. He's pretty amazing. Yes. Oh, good. Yeah. He's good. Thanks. How was it?
The coffee or the mug?
Well, no. Well, the experience. You worked.
We've done a lot of people. So
good. Yes. So I work with the Crawford team. The Crawford team works with like 5 of the top 10 teams in town. So we have worked with a lot of really great productive agents. And when I was at Lawyers Title, I worked with 10 of the 40 under 40 winners. So we've really helped people on a high level. So Michael and I can really give you a lot of tips of things that the best out there are doing. So that is really helpful too. So we talk a lot about that. And then, yeah, this book is a wealth of information, obviously. You can see how much info is in here. There's all sorts of stuff that you can go back to later and utilize in your business, reflect back on. Maybe, during the 8-week program, you're a little busy with content and homework, but guess what? A month later, you can go back in and implement whatever that was that we gave you. We also give you a video script book. We're going to talk a little bit about video and how to implement those. One thing that we found some top agents have been doing lately is they do videos for every milestone throughout the transaction to send to their clients. So instead of having to repeat the same exact thing with every client about what the home inspection period is and all this stuff, they make a video about it and text it to their clients during those points in the transaction. That's a really great way to automate your time, provide a unique, exceptional service experience that's different than most agents, and help them remember you. So we give you a video script book too. So if you want to do that, we have some tools and things with video as well. But that is pretty much it. Let me see, how are we on time? I don't have my watch on. We have some time still. So I'll show you guys a couple more things.
Quick question again.
Yeah.
It's every Tuesday, you said. Correct?
Every Tuesday starting July 10th.
And what's the meeting time again?
1 to 3:30. So how the actual course time will work is the first 15 minutes or so, 15 to 30, will be basically talking about the homework and the stuff from last week. So what's going to happen is all agents will be paired up with an accountability partner in the class. So you'll have a partner that'll be similar kind of production as you as much as possible. Each week you'll have an accountability call with them. We give you the questions to ask each other that we want you to ask that are going to be kind of tougher questions because we want you guys to hold each other accountable. And then we have a closed Facebook group that you're going to post the answers in. And then we basically, Michael and I are holding the accountability groups accountable, if that makes sense. So then at the beginning of the class, we will kind of discuss it, make sure everyone did their stuff. If anybody didn't, why, what happened? If you had a challenge, why, what happened? Did you have a success, why, what happened? So that's the beginning, about 15 to 30 minutes of the class. Then it's about an hour and a half of instruction on whatever the course content is. And then the last 30 minutes is kind of either masterminding, workshop style, open dialogue, or doing the homework activities, kind of getting started or discussing them. So that's how it kind of breaks down.
And no fee. Is there a fee at all?
Yes, there is a fee. So there's no upfront fee to start.
Okay.
When my home group brought it on as my home group program, they wanted to do it as commission split. So what they do is there's a 20% and 80-20 split on 3 deals. And then after that, there's nothing. So they looked at a lot of pricing at all the other different options out there. And a lot of them are either a huge flat fee up front, like $1,500 or $2,500 or whatever, or they're splits. And what we found the average split was 70-30 for 5 deals. So my home group is very value oriented. They wanted to make it a lot more cost effective than that. So they decided on 80-20 for 3 deals. And anything that you have in escrow or going before you start the program obviously wouldn't count. It's only things that go into escrow after the program. And we know that for some people that may be, the first month. And then for some people that may take 9 months to get 3 deals. So however long it takes. And then after that, you're right back to 100%, the same agreement that you signed at the beginning. Yes.
If someone were gonna be out of town while this is taking place, it would be a good idea to not wait.
Yes, I would say if you're going to miss more than 1 week, don't do it. We're going to be repeating it, obviously, like about every 8 to 10 weeks. Once the course is over, I'll probably take a week break and start it again. But it can be very tough, if you miss the whole instruction and content, because looking at these little slides, it's going to be difficult for you to go back and follow what really the benefit of the classes, coming to classes, is hearing Michael and I talk and explain and everyone ask questions and dialogue. That's really where you get the value. So it would be tough to miss more than one. Yeah, I think what we'll probably do is figure out a solution for the people that miss one, whether it's videoed or Facebook live streamed for that person or whatever, or if you could even like webinar in if you're somewhere where you have access to do that. Well, but more than 1 week would be tough. Any other questions? So my home group created a website for it, which is mhgtraining.com. And this kind of talks a little bit about it. It has a little bit about what it is. I forgot to mention the second option too, which is more designed for brand new agents. There's an option which is UX plus mentorship. And what that is it is basically exactly what the UX program is. You go through the 8-week program, but in addition, you have a mentor basically on call for you. So that's designed for people who need more hand-holding, writing contracts. They've maybe never done a transaction before. They want somebody to go to a listing appointment with them and help them, things like that. It's a very experienced agent who's a top producer who will basically be there to assist you with any kind of questions along the way. So that's the same program, but there's an additional split for that. It's 60-40 for 3 deals. So that's an additional split, but again, only 3 deals. And then after that, you're back to your normal, whatever agreement you signed with my home group. So Michael Marlowe, the Director of Business Development here at my home group, he was the brainchild of the program, the founder along with myself. I'm a coach, and then Andrew Glenn is an associate broker here. He's the one who's going to be doing that mentorship option. He has a very diverse background. He not only has done flipping, investing, he's been a top producing resale agent, and he answers the broker hotline here at my home group as well. So he's very well versed in any contract or agent related transactional questions. So I think between the 3 of us, we have a very well-rounded experience and education. I am definitely helped more on the marketing side. Andrew helps more on the transactional question side, and Michael Marlowe's more overall business development, business coaching, and strategy. So between the 3 of us, we have a great crew. And then here is a little testimonial. If it'll play, I'll try to play it, from Melanie White, who is in our first class. Let's see if it...
Hi, this is Melanie White. I'm with my group real estate. I've been
It's as loud as it goes. Let me try it over. Sorry, I don't know if I can turn that up.
Hi, this is Melanie White. I'm with my group real estate. I've been for and I went to UX class last summer. I was kind of a little old in my business and needed kind of some new approach. That's what I wanted to do with it, which I did, and I loved it. It helped my business tremendously. A lot of the information wasn't necessarily new, but because of where I was at, I was able to implement more of it. And then also having assignments weekly or bi-weekly is what we needed to accomplish is what helped a lot too. I believe in accountable. I also met another amazing agent there and worked with them to be able to start my business too. And by the end of the class, I actually made it onto the top 25 list of my group, which was something I had never done before. And setting goals and just knowing where I wanted to be was also extremely helpful too. So I highly recommend it. I would love to actually take the class again. And that's it.
So I know that was hard to hear. I apologize. We'll have to work on the volume. But with that, I'm sure you heard her say a couple important things. So she wasn't new. Well, I think she'd been in the business 2.5 years. She had transactions under her belt and was doing fine, but she wanted to do better. And I think what she said was great. It's not necessarily, I mean, we're not reinventing the wheel in real estate here. Like, there's not, I mean, there are some new concepts and ideas and things to try, but really, it's kind of the same activities. We just tell you how to do them better or different things to try. But what she said is great. It's like a lot of times you've gone to these classes and you've heard it and you may have thought, oh, that's a great idea, but you haven't actually taken the time to implement it in your business. And what she said is great, because we basically make you implement it into your business during the course, and that's where you start to see the great results. So, and she met an agent that now they help cover for each other on trips, they do open houses and things together, and that's been really great for them as well. And she was awesome, and she actually did. She said, I'll take it again, because last time we kind of scaled the course content down a little bit. It was 12 weeks to begin with, and we took it down to 8, because she said that there was almost like too much to implement with the 12 weeks. So that's why she said I would actually go through it again, because I know there's more I could pick up and more I could implement than even I did the first time. So we scaled it back to 8 weeks. It's kind of all still in there, just broken up differently. And then we extended it by half an hour, because it was 2 hours before. So that's kind of what that is. And then on here, there's a little form. If you have interest in the program, this just comes to Michael and I for us to call you. And then if you are ready to join the program, there is an application form, which is actually getting fixed. It's going to look different than this. But this one basically gives us information about you so that we can help you. So this tells us, we want you to know where your transactions come from, how many deals you did last year, where they came from. So it helps you break it down into, what percentage is from referrals, what percentage is from open houses, cold calling, online leads, and then some questions that help you understand you, like how you work and how you operate. What business tools you're using, and then what your business goals are. So we're going to have you fill this out to help us, and then that way on the first week we'll really dive into your business plan. We have already filled up most of the spots. We have some left, but what's going to happen is next week we're going to give you homework before the class even starts, and that's to make sure your database is put together. So we want you to come to the class with at least 100 names, phone numbers, and emails of people that you know somehow, past clients, current referral, whatever it is, prospects, neighbors, your hairstylist, parents at your kids' school, whatever it is. But we're going to have you put together. We want you to come to the program already with kind of like your goals in mind, which will help you refine the first week. We want you to have a database put together, and we want you to have some sort of system to touch your database, whether that's a CRM, or whether that's MailChimp, or whatever it is. We need you to have a way to email your database regularly. So those are the things, and we're going to send an email out obviously next week, kind of giving you all that information. But that's what we need from you to start the program, and a good attitude, and a willingness and want to grow. Yes, Roz?
Liz, what is the the website address again?
mhgtraining.com. And then this link, what'll happen is when you fill out this form at the bottom here, that will come to Michael and I, and then we will call you, or just talk to you over the phone and send you this link to fill out the application. And what we hope is that by doing this application, if you don't already know the answers to these, we want you to look back. We want you to actually go back and say, okay, last year I did 8 deals, and I want you to look at every single one of them and say, okay, that one was a referral, that one came from an open house, that one came from door knocking, whatever it is. We need you to go back through and plot them, because it'll really help us, and it'll help you see where maybe your energy was best spent or not very well spent. Any questions? So we have a few more minutes. Otherwise, I don't have any more content to show, but we don't want to give it all.
Bring up the website up here, because it's not coming up for me for some reason.
Yeah. mhgtraining.com. I'm going to do it right now.
Sometimes I can see what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
I think that's on my internet.
Yeah. Are you on the Wi-Fi here?
No, but I'm on my own, so I should be okay without it.
Yeah. You can connect to the Wi-Fi too. Well, thank you guys. If everyone's signed in, I'll go ahead and send you the flyer, the link to this. If you have any more questions, Michael and I are always available to talk to you. He's a wealth of knowledge. He had planned to be here, but they scheduled a recruiting appointment for him with an agent right now, so he had to miss it. But and Michael and I will be available throughout the course to all the people in the course as well for questions and guidance. So that's what we're there for. We both love coaching and helping agents. We've been doing it a long time. So
obviously you have one starting in July. Are you going to do it like every 3 months or so?
Yeah, so about every 8 to 10 weeks probably. So the next one, this one will go through all of July and August. We'll probably start like right after Labor Day. So second week in September, I would think.
Okay.
And then that one will probably go through till, September, October. And we probably won't do one around the holidays, I would think. Like, we'll take December off, probably Thanksgiving till after New Year's off. So there'll probably be one more this year after the July one, and then it'll be like January 14th or whatever, we'll start the next one. So yeah, fall and then January.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And next, the next class, it's in 10 minutes. If you are able to stay, I would highly recommend it. She's a dear friend of mine, and she actually is an amazing professional. She flew in from Chicago to do a few meetings with me this week. She has built she's a financial planner consultant, but she's built her entire business on real estate agents. So she's not here trying to sell you guys to buy her products or anything. She's here to talk to you guys about, as a real estate agent, how you can best plan your financial future. So which products are great for you guys that are tax-free, tax-delayed, tax-deferred, and different products that you can do to help build that, your retirement plan for yourself, because as agents, we don't often have it. So she's amazing. I highly recommend her. She works with like Berkshire Hathaway, Long Realty, all these things in Chicago. She has most of the market share there with real estate agents. And she's very well versed and not salesy at all. So if you're able to stay, I would really recommend listening to her. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me about UX. We hope to have you guys in the program. It's going to be great.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Good.
Awesome. You guys did a great job.
Thank you. We worked hard on it. At one point, Michael and I are like, we have been working on this it was a year in March, and we meet every week to put the content together. So we've been working on it a lot, but we think we came up with something pretty great. So
yeah, it's fabulous.
it's going to be great. Yeah, we consulted a lot with My Home Group broker, owner brokers, and top teams and agents here to make sure that the content was great and we were adding the best value to agents that we could. So